Welcome to a new episode of the podcast. Vox Agent is made by AI for business executives that work with AI. Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really pulling back the curtain on something huge happening in global business. We're looking at how two specific kinds of AI, generative AI and agentic AI, are fundamentally changing the engine room of commerce, the supply chain. We've sifted through quite a stack of material for you, analyses, reports, research, all focused on AI's impact right there in supply chain operations. Our goal? Simple. Cut through the noise, pull up the key insights, show you some actual real-world examples, and give you a clearer sense of where this is all going. Think of this deep dive as your essential briefing on this AI-powered supply chain revolution.
Exactly. And the sources we looked at make it really clear. This isn't just, tweaking things. It's a fundamental shift. They show not just what this AI can do, but really the tangible why it matters for core functions, planning inventory, sourcing materials, everything.
Okay, let's jump right in there. We'll start with three areas where AI is already making a significant splash, driving big changes right now. First up, AI-enhanced demand forecasting and inventory planning. Now, traditionally, forecasting looked backward, used older methods, but AI, it can digest vast amounts of data, not just sales history, but market signals, weather, even social media sentiment, for really dynamic predictions.
That's the crucial difference, moving from just reacting to actively predicting, and the numbers really back this up. We see research showing companies using AI are cutting inventory by, say, 20 to 30%. Adopters are seeing results like 15% lower logistics costs, 35% less inventory compared to their peers, and service levels way up. Better forecasts just mean leaner inventory, fewer stockouts, and you can react much, much faster.
Those are pretty eye-popping numbers. 35% less inventory and better service. Are companies actually hitting that?
Oh, absolutely. The sources have concrete examples. There's a global e-commerce player using AI for demand across, get this, 400 million different products. They cut their excess stock by 15–20%. Yeah. And a major retailer, let's call them Eden, used AI for fresh food forecasting, analyzing billions of data points daily. That system. It helped slash food waste by $86 million and boosted accuracy by 20%. So more fresh food when customers want it.
86 million just from better forecasting in one area.
Exactly. We're also seeing industrial manufacturers cutting forecast errors by up to 50%, which dramatically cuts down on those frustrating out-of-stock moments. These aren't just theories. They're measured, real-world ROI, lower costs, happier customers.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this a bit more. You mentioned generative AI and agentic AI. How do these two, distinct types split the work here in forecasting?
Great question. It's really key to understand the difference. Generative AI, think of it as boosting the intelligence and the simulation side. It's like the system's brain. It digs into complex drivers behind demand things traditional models often missed, so you get more accurate forecasts. It also makes sophisticated systems user-friendly. Imagine just asking, in plain English, what's the demand forecast for product X next quarter and why? GenAI can give you a clear answer, even draft a report. Plus, it powers what-if scenarios. What happens if this market grows 10% faster? Boom, simulation results. It makes complex planning much more accessible.
Okay, so GenAI is the smarts, the analysis, the user interface almost.
Exactly. Then, Agentic AI is all about action and execution. These are the AI agents that take those smart forecasts and, do something. They can autonomously adjust inventory policies, trigger reorders, shift stock between warehouses, often without needing a human to click approve for every single action. They monitor things in real time. They can execute multi-step workflows like place an order in the ERP, reroute a shipment if there's a delay, update systems. The trend is definitely toward autonomous agents managing inventory flow.
I see.
So GenAI refines the signal, provides the insight. Agentic AI operationalizes the response, immediately ordering, repositioning, executing. They work hand in hand.
AI for the brain, agentic AI for the hands.
Yeah.
Got it. What does this translate to for the key business metrics, the KPIs?
Well, the impact is really clear. That 20–50% improvement in forecast accuracy, it directly cuts the mismatch between supply and demand. That means 5–10% higher fill rates, more orders fulfilled on time, first time, and like we said, 20–35% less inventory cuts, holding costs significantly. Logistics costs can drop 5–15%. Plus, the speed updating daily or even in real time versus weekly or monthly, that makes the supply chain way more agile, more resilient. We saw how critical that was during recent disruptions.
That's incredibly powerful just in the planning phase. Okay, let's shift gears. Second big area, autonomous supply chain control towers. How are these changing?
Right, control towers. They're evolving fast from being, passive dashboards just showing data that humans then interpret to becoming active AI-driven nerve centers. These don't just monitor, they act. They make and execute decisions across functions, procurement, manufacturing, logistics, way faster than humans can coordinate. Some experts estimate these AI-powered towers could unlock trillions in value globally. They're becoming essential for real-time visibility and quick decisions in complex networks. And the key difference is AI isn't just recommending, it's often driving the actions, rebalancing stock, rerouting shipments autonomously.
That idea of an autonomous nerve center is really potent. Are there examples of this happening now?
We're definitely seeing glimpses. A building products distributor uses an AI control tower to manage inventory across dozens of sites. The AI predicts shortages, coordinates stock moves autonomously, result a 5–8% jump in fill rates with less inventory overall.
And does generative AI play a role there too?
It does. That system has a GenAI-powered chatbot interface. Planners can literally just ask, why is stock low for product X in the West region? And get an instant, understandable answer based on real-time data. Cuts down hours of digging.
That's useful.
Very. And another example points to this vision of a self-healing supply chain. Imagine an AI agent detects a port closure instantly. Instead of people scrambling, the AI evaluates alternatives, re-optimizes inventory across the network, updates customer orders, maybe even adjusts production schedules, all autonomously coordinating multiple systems. Companies like DHL, major retailers, they're piloting agents that monitor shipments, spot trouble, and automatically reroute or adjust store inventory with minimal human input. It's moving beyond dashboards to proactive systems.
Okay, so again, how do GenAI and Agentic AI work together in these control towers? What's the division of labor?
Still very complementary roles. GenAI is like the intelligent assistant layer. It enhances decision support. It provides rich insights. Here's a potential bottleneck next week. This is the optimal response plan. Or explaining complex situations clearly via that chatbot interface. It makes the tower smarter and easier for humans to use.
So it interprets and communicates.
Right. While Agentic AI provides the autonomous control, you might have multiple specialized agents coordinating. One monitors logistics, another warehouse stock, another production. These agents don't just report, they execute. If one spots a delay, another might trigger a rerouting plan in the logistics system or adjust inventory levels automatically. It's that shift, as one source put it, from suggestion to execution. Humans often oversee now, but the trend is towards autonomy for defined tasks.
Makes sense. The combo seems powerful. What about the KPI impact for these more autonomous control towers?
It's pretty broad. Inventory efficiency gets a big boost, 20–30% reductions while keeping service levels high. Customer service improves, better fill rates, more on-time deliveries because the system anticipates and fixes issues faster. You see cost savings, maybe 5–10% in logistics from smarter routing, plus manufacturing efficiencies. Responsiveness and agility, huge improvement. Reaction times drop from days or hours down to minutes. And resilience, crucially, the ability to automatically reroute or replan during a crisis minimizes the hit. It's really a move towards proactive, self-correcting operations.
Okay, fantastic. Let's move to our third core use case for today, intelligent procurement and sourcing optimization. What's the opportunity here?
Procurement is, well, critical. Very data-heavy. Managing spend, finding suppliers, negotiating. But a lot of it is still manual, tedious work. Value gets left on the table. This is where GenAI can streamline processing data and generating content. And Agentic AI can actually handle transactions or even some negotiations at scale. Estimates suggest AI could streamline up to 30% of that manual procurement work, potential cost reductions, maybe 15–45% in some areas. Analysis can be 90% faster. Plus, pressures like inflation and the need for better ESG compliance are pushing companies to use AI to find savings and monitor suppliers more effectively. It's about cost, risk, and productivity.
And are we seeing this play out in the real world yet? Any examples?
Yes, definitely pilots showing promise. One global manufacturer tested GenAI tools. A knowledge assistant helped buyers find info and documents 50–75% faster. Another tool analyzed supplier offers, cutting the work needed by half. And a third tool drafted RFPs and contracts 50% faster. And improved quality, fewer errors.
That's significant efficiency.
It is. Then there's a large retailer that used an AI negotiation bot specifically for its tail spend, thousands of small suppliers. The bot negotiated basic terms, tailored agreements at scale, captured savings that were just impossible to go after manually.
Interesting. A negotiation bot.
Yeah. And a CPG company built a GenAI tool that drafts RFPs based on thousands of past ones, even predicts likely bidders. Took complex sourcing from weeks down to days, AI can really take over routine tasks, find hidden savings, and extend procurement's reach.
So let's break down the roles again. GenAI versus Agentic AI in procurement.
Okay. Generative AI is strong on language, data synthesis, simulation. It generates content draft RFPs, contracts, negotiation scripts, emails trained on company data. It summarizes complex info like turning a 50-page proposal into a one-page highlight reel. It synthesizes data from multiple sources, news, web, databases to answer questions like, what are the key risks with supplier X? It can even simulate negotiations, letting buyers practice against an AI supplier persona. It's the powerful assistant augmenting the human team.
Right, the information and content engine.
Exactly. Agentic AI then focuses on the automation and autonomous decision-making, within set boundaries, of course. It can automate parts of the procure-to-pay cycle for routine items triggering reorders, selecting preferred suppliers based on rules, executing the PO, autonomous buying agents. It can assist in or even conduct parts of negotiations engaging supplier systems, handling simple auto-negotiations like that retailer bot. It orchestrates workflows, maybe initiating a rebidding process if it detects a cost-saving opportunity, or switching suppliers based on real-time risk alerts. Agentic AI executes tasks and decisions at scale.
So combined.
Right. Agentic AI equips the team with better info and drafts. Agentic AI executes routine tasks and decisions. It leads towards touchless processing for simple stuff and a very capable co-pilot for strategic work.
And the business impact, the KPIs for procurement.
Major impacts here, too. Cost savings, as mentioned, 15–45% potentially on addressed spend categories. Better pricing, consolidation, less maverick spend. Process efficiency skyrockets. RFP cycles from weeks to days. Analysis done 90% faster. This reduces workload, freeing up teams by maybe 30% from transactional tasks to focus on strategic sourcing and supplier relationships. Risk and compliance get a huge boost. AI agents can monitor 100% of suppliers continuously for financial stress, ESG issues, sanctions. Much earlier identification. You can even see improved supplier satisfaction as buyers have more time for relationships. AI really elevates procurement from just a cost center to a strategic value driver.
Okay, that paints a very clear picture of where we are today. Let's pivot now and look ahead. The sources also highlight 3 use cases that seem poised to become mainstream in, say, the next 3 to 5 years.
That's right. These are areas where the groundwork is being laid now, and we can see a clear path to broader adoption soon.
First on that list, autonomous supplier negotiation. You touched on it briefly, but what are the current limitations this will really tackle?
Well, today, as we said, negotiation is mostly manual, human-driven. You just can't negotiate deeply with everyone, especially that long tail of smaller suppliers. Human bandwidth is limited, skills vary, time zones are a hassle, and juggling complex trade-offs perfectly is hard. AI today mostly provides decision support, not conducts the negotiation itself. The challenges have been getting AI to truly understand conversational nuance, building trust, integrating systems, and handling unstructured interactions. And some CPOs worry about losing the relationship aspect.
Okay, so how will generative and agentic AI change that picture in the next few years?
This is where that combination really shines for negotiation. Generative AI acts as the negotiation brain. Trained on countless negotiation transcripts, contracts, outcomes, it understands context. It crafts persuasive language, adapts its approach based on goals, maybe optimizing for 5% savings and ensuring on-time delivery guarantees. Agentic AI is the one taking action. It sends the messages, adjusts proposals, handles counteroffers, processes different variables like contract length or payment terms, and ultimately executes the agreement within its parameters. Crucially, it can do this for dozens, maybe hundreds of suppliers simultaneously, 247. It can simulate outcomes before making concessions.
So AI handling the haggling in real time.
Potentially, yes. Reaching agreement in seconds for routine things. The vision is offloading much of that routine negotiation, especially for the long tail, freeing up humans for the really strategic, complex deals. Over 3 to 5 years, AI will likely become a sophisticated co-pilot for strategic sourcing too, generating negotiation playbooks, maybe even handling initial outreach. It enables a shift to continuous, AI-driven negotiation adapting to market changes.
Are we seeing the first steps towards this already?
We are. Early pilots and developments are popping up. Research groups like MIT have shown AI assisting human negotiators can improve outcomes. Retailers like Walmart have used automated negotiation chatbots for smaller suppliers, getting tailored agreements. Procurement software vendors are actively integrating negotiation agents. Some have demoed auto-negotiation features. Startups are emerging focused specifically on autonomous sourcing agents, and even using GenAI for training. Having AI play a tough supplier shows its growing capability. The momentum is there. Expect AI taking on more negotiation tasks, starting in controlled settings like tail spend, to become much more common soon.
Okay, second emerging use case. AI-led ESG compliance and reporting. This feels incredibly timely given the regulatory pressures.
Absolutely. It's a massive challenge right now. New rules, like the EU's CSRD, demand incredibly detailed reporting, especially on Scope 3 emissions, the indirect ones, deep in your supply chain. Getting visibility and reliable data beyond your direct suppliers is notoriously hard. Data collection is often manual, fragmented across systems, inconsistent formats, different languages. You rely on self-reporting or infrequent audits, continuous monitoring for compliance issues, scanning news, checking sanctions lists. It's practically impossible for humans at scale. And the reporting itself is burdensome, manual, error-prone, costly, especially Scope 3 calculations, often just using averages. By the time you report, the data's outdated. Current methods are reactive, full of gaps.
That sounds like a perfect storm for AI. How do GenAI and Agentic AI tackle this?
AI can become this always-on ESG co-pilot. Agentic AI handles automated data ingestion 24/7, crawling and pulling ESG data from countless sources. Supplier disclosures, yes, but also sensor data, utility bills, certifications, and crucially, news feeds, social media globally in multiple languages. This breaks down data silos and catches issues almost instantly. Imagine an agent flagging local news about a labor issue at a Tier 3 supplier before anyone else knows.
Real-time risk detection.
Exactly. Then, generative AI makes sense of it all. It synthesizes this disparate data, estimates missing info intelligently using benchmarks, and generates draft reports and narratives formatted for specific standards like GRI or SSB. Huge time saver and keeps reports current. Agentic AI also enables real-time monitoring, setting alerts if a supplier's emissions spike, or parsing new regulations to flag compliance gaps automatically. You could even have AI agents proactively reach out to suppliers with guidance or tailored action plans based on identified risks or gaps. Coaching at scale. AI could also dynamically adjust network configurations based on ESG goals, recommending or executing lower carbon routes. Balancing ESG with cost and speed, it shifts ESG from rear-view mirror reporting to real-time control.
What are the early signs companies are moving this way?
We're seeing early moves. Companies using AI for better Scope 3 emissions tracking in near real time. Platforms emerging that use GenAI specifically for ESG data analysis and insight generation. Sustainable procurement features are being added to major platforms. Agents checking supplier ESG risks during sourcing, flagging issues, tracking emissions. Some report double-digit drops in non-compliance incidents already. Pilots are underway using AI for CSRD data aggregation and drafting reports, catching inconsistencies. And that incident detection piece, AI monitoring global news, is already alerting companies to problems faster. Within 3 to 5 years, AI-driven ESG dashboards providing real-time visibility and semi-autonomous management systems seem very likely. Pioneers will gain confidence, react faster, and meet goals more effectively.
Okay, our final emerging use case. Dynamic scenario-based supply chain network reconfiguration. That sounds like a mouthful, but potentially game-changing.
It really is. Right now, designing your supply chain network, where your facilities are, how products flow, it's a slow, strategic exercise. Done maybe once a year, if that. It takes months. It's inflexible day to day. The complexity is overwhelming, so human planners have to simplify, meaning they might miss optimal solutions or risk scenarios. Decisions are often siloed, and real-time data rarely gets fully integrated into these big strategic models. So networks end up being static, reactive, they break under stress, as we saw with the pandemic, or port closures. We need ways to simulate and implement network changes much faster.
This sounds like a massive leap. How do these AI types make networks dynamic?
GenAI acts as the scenario simulation engine. Instead of analysts manually building a few what-ifs, GenAI can automatically generate and simulate thousands of potential futures. What if a key factory shuts down? Demand doubles. A new tariff hits. It uses all available data, even unstructured news or reports, to foresee scenarios and explore creative solutions, maybe using an unusual route or supplier.
So it explores the possibilities much faster and wider.
Precisely. Then, Agentic AI handles the orchestration and implementation if a reconfiguration is decided upon. If a scenario requires shifting production, reallocating inventory, changing logistics flows, different AI agents coordinate across the functional systems. Procurement gets needed materials, manufacturing adjusts, logistics reroutes. They execute the changes on the fly based on the chosen scenario. This transforms network design from a periodic project into a continuous adaptation process. GenAI constantly evaluates trends and suggests tweaks. Agentic AI implements incremental changes dynamically, adding temporary stock based on a demand spike, switching a source due to a tariff.
Like a self-optimizing network.
Exactly. Adaptive, resilient networks. The supply chain starts to act like a living organism, reconfiguring itself. Strategy and execution blur, mediated by AI coordinating everything.
Are we seeing the beginnings of this capability?
Yes, the signs are there. Companies are building AI-driven digital twins, virtual replicas of their supply chains for rapid scenario planning. These models get updated daily, allowing quick analysis of disruptions and finding cost or lead time improvements. We're seeing demos of multi-agent systems orchestrating responses to simulated disruptions, the self-healing concept in action. Gartner predicts autonomous design is coming, with agents being mainstream for this in maybe 5-8 years, calling it critical. Companies are using AI for intense resilience stress tests, simulating extreme events to find weak spots and make structural changes. Advanced planning systems are also moving towards continuous optimization, like Amazon's daily network adjustments. Within 3 to 5 years, dynamic reconfiguration triggered by AI seems set to become a standard capability for leaders. Imagine an AI mission control answering, "How do we react if this supplier goes offline?" in minutes, and then executing the plan, turning big disruptions into manageable adjustments.
This is genuinely a monumental shift, moving towards systems that can almost heal themselves, reconfigure dynamically. What are the really big strategic implications for leaders listening to this?
It truly is a paradigm shift. We're moving from what you could call human-centered supply chains, where people use tools to make most decisions, towards AI-orchestrated supply chains. AI agents coordinate activities across the network. Humans shift to becoming supervisors, maybe conductors, overseeing these complex automated systems. Think autonomous flight systems, maybe high-frequency trading algorithms. AI provides what McKinsey calls super agency, allowing humans to manage far greater complexity by delegating execution to AI. That concept of the self-healing supply chain is really central here.
And what does that AI orchestration imply day to day?
Well, several things. Decision velocity increases dramatically. Reaction times shrink from days or hours to minutes, even seconds for some things. The scale and complexity AI can manage is vastly greater than traditional methods. It tames the chaos. It's a move from just forecasting to truly autonomous execution. The system doesn't just predict, it acts on the prediction autonomously within set rules. It inherently drives cross-functional integration because the AI coordinates across silos for end-to-end optimization. And it probably requires new metrics like decision latency, how fast can the system react. But it's crucial to stress, humans don't disappear. Their roles evolve, setting strategy, overseeing the AI, managing exceptions, ensuring governance. Operators become conductors. It's a journey, of course. Many are just starting experimenting, but the tech is moving at, well, warp speed.
Okay, so what does this mean specifically for the executives? The chief supply chain officers, the CSCOs, working alongside their tech leaders, the CIOs and CTOs.
For those leaders, this touches, well, everything. Strategy and value creation first. They need to redefine strategy around resilience and agility, enabled by AI. Maybe enable totally new business models, personalized products, hyperlocal delivery at scale. They absolutely must quantify the value AI delivers, linking operational gains directly to margin, working capital, revenue. Supply chain becomes a true competitive weapon, not just a cost center.
The role gets bigger, more strategic.
Definitely. Then there's organization and talent. Huge implications. The workforce must be reskilled and upskilled. Roles more fewer manual planners, more people validating AI, managing exceptions, focusing on strategic oversight. New roles emerge: AI trainers, prompt engineers. Collaboration between supply chain, tech, and business units becomes absolutely critical, and change management is paramount. BCG says 70% of AI value comes from adoption. Fostering an AI-positive culture, seeing AI as a co-pilot, providing training, it's essential.
What about the risks? Governance?
Absolutely critical. Governance and risk need frameworks from day one, clear boundaries. What can AI decide autonomously? Where is human approval mandatory? Maybe large spend decisions or switching strategic suppliers. Managing bias and error risk is vital. Constant oversight, regular audits, ensuring AI actions are explainable and logged. And you need contingency plans, manual overrides, backups.
And the partnership with tech leaders, CIO, CTOs.
Crucial. You need strong tech foundations. Cloud, IoT data streams, seamless integration. Data strategy is probably the biggest piece. Getting unified, high-quality data is often the hardest step, requiring significant data cleanup and governance. Leaders need to make joint build versus buy decisions on AI platforms and tools, and really champion data governance across the organization.
In the CSCO's role itself.
It elevates, more prominent, more strategic in the C-suite, providing predictive insights on market trends, informing overall enterprise strategy, acting almost as the chief risk officer for operational resilience. Briefing the board becomes routine. They are central partners in enabling and guiding this AI transformation.
So for companies listening right now, feeling perhaps a bit overwhelmed, but also seeing the opportunity, where should they actually start today to build these capabilities?
Yeah, it can seem daunting. But the sources offer very concrete starting points. First, develop a clear vision and roadmap. Envision what an AI-driven supply chain means for your specific business. Identify 1-2 high-priority areas aligned with strategic goals, maybe inventory reduction, maybe customer experience. Then create a phased 1-2-year roadmap. Small steps, clear milestones. Pilot something high value but maybe lower risk in the next 3-4 months. An AI forecasting pilot for one product line. An internal GenAI chatbot for procurement knowledge. Start small, test, learn, iterate, gradually increase autonomy, crawl, walk, run.
Okay, vision and roadmap first. What's next?
Second, invest in your data foundation and tech platforms. AI is data hungry and it needs good data. Audit your data quality now. Integrate data sources, IoT, partners. Clean up that master data. It's hard, but essential. Build or evolve towards a unified data platform. Look at modern control tower solutions, cloud AI platforms. Evaluate what vendors like Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, and specialists are offering. Pilot integrating agentic capabilities, even just API hooks now.
Data is key, then.
Third, upskill your team and foster adoption. Train your people on AI fundamentals. Crucially, position AI as a collaborator, a co-pilot, to reduce fear. Run pilots with humans heavily involved, initially human in the loop, to build trust and get valuable feedback. Remember that change management piece, 70% of value? Consider an AI task force or center of excellence. Celebrate wins, address concerns openly, provide training for new roles like exception handling.
Makes sense. People are central to making it work.
Fourth, start with augmentation, then progressively automate. Don't try to boil the ocean. Begin with AI providing recommendations or insights where humans make the final call. Then move to human-on-the-loop AI acts, but a human monitors and can veto. Then, only for well-understood, reliable processes, consider full autonomy. This phased approach builds confidence. Remember, mass adoption might take years, so you have time to iterate, but starting now builds advantage. Test autonomy in low-risk areas first.
Gradual steps towards autonomy. Good advice.
Fifth, partner externally and learn continuously. You don't have to invent everything yourself. Engage with consultants, industry forums, peer groups. Learn from public examples like those pilots we mentioned. Partner with your technology vendors, maybe even co-develop specific solutions. And regularly assess your own AI maturity to understand where your gaps are and track progress.
Don't go it alone. And finally,
Sixth, and this is crucial, embed ethics, governance, and security from day one. Don't treat it as an afterthought. Establish clear policies up front regarding data privacy, compliance, ethical use, the scope of AI decision-making. Secure sensitive supply chain and commercial data rigorously. Plan for auditability. How will you trace why an AI made a certain decision? Set those guardrails early and reinforce them.
that's a fantastic set of practical recommendations. It really brings it down to earth. We've covered a lot. It's clear we're witnessing a profound transformation. Supply chains moving from being managed by humans using tools towards being orchestrated by AI, becoming these self-healing systems capable of incredible speed, complexity management, and resilience.
Exactly. And it's important to reiterate, this isn't science fiction decades away. Key elements are in pilot or early deployment today. The trajectory towards greater autonomy, greater intelligence, integrated across the supply chain, it's undeniable based on the sources.
So for you, the business executive listening, the call to action seems clear. Start envisioning your AI-driven supply chain future now. Invest strategically, step by step, in the foundational data, talent, and technology, and govern this significant transformation with care and foresight. This is how you can shift your supply chain from being viewed as a cost center to becoming a true source of strategic competitive advantage, orchestrated by AI. Absolutely, but crucially, guided by human leadership and vision.
And perhaps here's a final thought for you to ponder on. As AI enables supply chains to adapt in near real time to both disruptions and opportunities, will competitive advantage fundamentally shift? Will it move away from simply having the most efficient fixed network towards having the most adaptively resilient network? Something to think about.
Thank you for joining the podcast, and see you soon.